Cathedral on Friday. I happened to be having a very big meeting of church leaders and pastors, and luckily, as I always do my meetings within the city, I always seek security from the nearest operators depending on the jurisdiction of that area. And having liaised with the OCPD Kilimani, they had sent me enough police as the event was ongoing. And it is those police, Mr. Speaker, actually, who are able to assist when the goons arrived at All Saints Cathedral, where I was doing a prayer, breakfast morning, when the pastors were praying for me for my ambition for 2027 as the woman rep for this county. And Mr. Speaker, I wanted to state something as far as Goonism is concerned in this country. Goonism that is there today, Mr. Speaker, needs to be addressed differently. It's sort of, these are sort of young men who have formed companies that if services are needed, then they are rendered and rendered at a cost. The more these goons are mushrooming, it will be very difficult in future to cut them off, Mr. Speaker. And mostly us as politicians, across board, it doesn't matter which side you belong, they are always there asking for these services or wanting to render services, which in the future will affect all of us. So it's the high time that the security operators move with speed and be able to ensure that these groups are put to a stop. Quickly, as I touch on the issues of pending bill, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Speaker, if this statement from Senator Hilary Sigay should be rightfully at the Committee of Transport, Roads and Transport, because the issues of pending bills are normally addressed by the Committee of Finance and Budget. And so I'm just curious, in your directions, as you'll be giving directions, if this statement is placed in the right committee. And why, Mr. Speaker? The matter of pending bills is a matter that, yes, we've really discussed in this House. We've also discussed it in our Committee of Finance and Budget. Mr. Speaker, when we fought in the mediation to increase the 13 billion to all counties, Mr. Speaker, one of the key main reasons was so that the county governments can be able now to come to close as far as the issue of pending bills is concerned, Mr. Speaker. And so I would request if you redirect that this matter is addressed by the Finance and Budget Committee. Mr. Speaker, allow me as I conclude to talk about the bill that I tabled last week. That is the County Additional Allocation Bill in regards to the 8.6 billion for our UHC workers, Mr. Speaker. And I speak it because it's irrelevant as far as pending bills are concerned. There have been pending arrears for salaries and wages for our UHC workers across the country, across all the 47 counties. And luckily, I sit in the Health Committee and also in the Finance Committee, where this matter has been brought in two committees that I actually serve diligently, and have been able to champion and to ensure that at least the 8.6 billion is now given to the county so that they can be able to settle the quagmire of our UHC workers. I speak like that because today they were still demonstrating. And the question is, they are asking, when will we be permanent and pensionable? And Mr. Speaker, this 8.6 is supposed to take care of their salaries for this financial year and any arrears that have been there, so that it brings this matter to closure. And that is why that 8.6, we directed that it be put at SIGA, County Additional Allocation, Mr. Speaker. It is in that regard I've seen one of the governors, none other than Governor Baraza of Kakamega County, coming on air, on a baraza, and really discouraging the UHC workers by telling them, you know what, this money has not been put in DORA, so we cannot be able to employ you permanent and pensionable. It was put in SIGA. And you see, the governors wanted this money to go to DORA so that they can have the freedom to be able to utilize these funds the way they want. But the reason we insisted as a committee that these funds go to the county, the additional allocation, is so that they can fully address the issues of our UHC workers. So, Mr. Speaker, We are trying as a committee to ensure that counties get additional monies to be able to sort any pending issues, be it current expenditures for salaries like this ones for UHC workers. And it is a high time, Mr. Speaker, that the governors pronounce and stop stressing our UHC workers. It is painful. Again, they are here trying to demand that they be given their PNP contracts. They have suffered. They have worked since the COVID time, offering services to our people. So governors, next year, the 8.6 or the actual amount that will be needed will be in Dora or can be in Siga. What is important is that can you kindly give the UHC workers in this country their valid contract moving forward so that the depression and the stress that they have can come to an end. With those many few, I support, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, very well. Now, honorable senators, you remember we dispensed of order number 8, business appearing as order number 8. Now we go to order number 9, clerk.
Order number 9, the Community Health Promoters Bill, National Assembly Bill number 53 of 2022, second reading. Resumption of debate interrupted on Thursday, 11th June 2026. Mover to reply.
Majority Leader, if you are ready, you proceed and reply.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this chance. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank colleague senators who took time to speak to this bill. This is one of those very, very important bills which if we leave this House, and I'm beginning to speak like this, Mr. Speaker, because I have seen 2 other previous ends to a term of Senate, and I know they can be very quick and fast. Mr. Speaker, it gets to July like this, and raising the requisite number to pass and transact business in the House becomes a bit difficult. Therefore, Senator Eddy should take maximum advantage of the little time that we still have left. If there is any signature legislation that you feel needs to be part and parcel of your resume as a legislator for this term, Mr. Speaker. I'm speaking about the Community Health Promoters Bill, Mr. Speaker, because like I said in my moving notes, this is a representation of the work of, Mr. Speaker, more than 100,000 Kenyans who attend to millions of the rest of the country, despite the fact that they are not medics, Mr. Speaker. They have very little to sometimes barely formal training in the things that they do, Mr. Speaker. But because we have accepted their place and we have structured their standing in the national ecosystem of the health culture in this republic, Mr. Speaker, we cannot wish away their presence. We were informed earlier, Mr. Speaker, that while we may discuss and talk about wage bill and all these things, Mr. Speaker, important as it is, not wage bill, minimum wage, Mr. Speaker, the stipend that they get goes a long way to sustain and keep some of them in the work that they do, Mr. Speaker. Of course, in the proper African culture, Mr. Speaker, when somebody has attended to you, Mr. Speaker, and some of them we know they attend to different people, Mr. Speaker, there is what is culturally right to do, and I know a lot more other things happen within that line, and people know that there's a CHP from such and such family in this locality. At least there's somebody who has a clue about health matters, Mr. Speaker, within the country. Mr. Speaker, you know people underestimate the value of preventive medical practices in the overall bill of a nation's health being, Mr. Speaker. Teaching people about healthy practices, healthy eating, Mr. Speaker, on their nutrition and so on, and how to manage some of their lifetime illnesses and things like that, Mr. Speaker. Things which the community health promoters can do with so much ease, because as they interact, as they train, as they work around with the other more senior and more qualified medical practitioners, Mr. Speaker, they learn this thing and they bring indigenous knowledge from their areas of operation, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, these are very, very important Kenyans. It is my hope, Mr. Speaker, that upon the passage of this bill, we shall be able to conclude and see the intention of the bill through, which is to set up this council that looks after them. I'm not particularly sure, Mr. Speaker, where we have placed it is the right place, given that these are people that are majorly placed in counties, Mr. Speaker, and they interact, though we pay them a stipend from both national and county government, something that I have many times without number said is not neat, Mr. Speaker, in the management of public finance, Mr. Speaker, and those are things that we'll correct as we move on during our stint, Mr. Speaker. Should that opportunity be availed, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to pose it at that. I know we have said all that we need to say on this very sticky topic. Mr. Speaker, it just breaks my heart that of all the demonstrations that come outside the door of the Senate, it is mostly to do with healthcare workers. I had hoped, maybe there's still time, Senator Eddy, that we were going to do something about by way of transferring staff and personnel, but even by standardizing legislation on practices of things to do such as remuneration, Mr. Speaker, promotion, leave days, and all welfare issues, Mr. Speaker. It should trouble our conscience, Mr. Speaker, as a house that is charged to look after the interest of devolution, that for almost of the health sector, it tells you there's something that we haven't gotten right as a house. I can't see Senator Mandago, the chairperson of health, but I believe there's still sufficient time to think through. I had previously asked if we could draft something of a similar nature, and there was something that was being considered, though time now is visibly running out, Mr. Speaker, on us. But there's still much that we can do in between that.
21, the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025, second reading.
As I can see, the bill is under the majority leader. Who is moving the bill? Senator Andy Okech. Chair, loans, transportation. What else? Housing and public works. And housing. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 148.1 of the Senate Standing Orders, I beg to move that the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill number 3 of 2025, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025, be now read a second time. And Mr. Speaker, you know, the way you ushered me in, coming to move this particular bill, I must say that it's one of the bills that I'm very, very proud of having worked on, because it's a bill about RMLF. It touches on road maintenance, issue that has been a problem in the psyche of the Senate for the longest time possible. So that from the onset, I want to thank the members of my committee, the Standing Committee on Roads, Transport, and Housing, for their commitment and their involvement in the public participation process that has informed a lot of the ideas I'm going to share with you in this bill. And Mr. Speaker, I sincerely also want to thank your office, because this has been the most contentious bill that has also shown the dichotomy between the Senate and the National Assembly, to the extent that we have always battled out the issue of equitable sharing of resources in some of the levies that cut across. And your office has been very supportive in handling this bill in a way that has been difficult in the psyche of the House and the lower house of the National Assembly. And in the same measure, Mr. Speaker, the office of the clerk has been very, very fundamental in terms of just helping us with a number of wonderful secretariat members who have helped us to, unearth some of the concepts that have really informed us in terms of making sure that we brought something concrete to the House, even as we engage stakeholders and the members of public who also participated in the scrutiny of the bill. I also want to thank all the members of the public who appeared in my committee to help us think and rethink this bill. Mr. Speaker, perhaps for the understanding of the House, the principal object of this bill is to align the road sector through a legal framework with the Constitution 2010 by providing a clear classification of roads, defining the responsibility of county governments in the management of our roads, which has been a very hazy thing. Even now, you've seen the statement that has just been handed over to my committee by Senator Hilary Sigei. There is still haziness in terms of the management of our roads and the responsibility of the counties with regards to this particular responsibility. And therefore, there is always the need of reviewing the framework for allocation, because one of the things we have fought as a house is the idea that responsibilities are given to counties, functions are given to counties, yet resources don't follow them. That is not dissimilar to the case of roads, where the issue of roads, you find that there is indeed some responsibility in the management, whether be it maintenance, construction, rehabilitation of these roads, but the counties don't have a resource allocation mechanism. And this has been because the road maintenance levy fund has not been alive in the counties. And Mr. Speaker, before I take the House through the specific provisions of the bill, allow me to briefly provide the background that has brought us to where we are right now, because this context is particularly important to inform why some of the proposed amendments and the underscore that need strengthening in terms of the governance and the maintenance of this road and the financing in the roads infrastructure in Kenya has been very crucial in this conversation. Majority leader just said that it is important that we pass a number of bills the National Assembly, but they don't get to be considered as fast as we give the attention to theirs in this House. I personally, majority leader, have passed 3 bills that have gone to that House that have not been able to be moved accordingly and even be passed or considered and be passed in those houses majority. But you see, Mr. Speaker, this bill originated from the National Assembly and is the only bill that I would ask the entire House to be able to focus on and pass as fast as possible, because the road infrastructure remains one of the most critical enablers of socioeconomic development in our country, as you all know. Perhaps if I can give you some figures, the road transport is a dominant mode of transport in our country to the extent that approximately 93% of all freights in the country and all passengers transports are dependent on road, Mr. Speaker. The country's road networks, however, has had a problem of bias when you look at how national government maintains or constructs or revamps roads, Mr. Speaker. Because we have got a network of about 162,600 kilometers of roads in our borders, Mr. Speaker. And out of this, the national government only manages 45,000, became about to be managed by Kera, Kura, Kenha, was a framework that was put before 2010 Constitution. So that, Mr. Speaker, while the Constitution assigns national trunk roads to the national government and county roads to the county government, the existing legal infrastructure and framework that would dictate responsibility and then dictate follow-ups on those responsibilities, and more importantly, dictate resources that goes to that responsibility, do not align at all with what you would see in the Constitution 2010. So that, Mr. Speaker, the distribution of those functions between national and county governments, Mr. Speaker, it is on one hand responsibility either to one of them, but on the other hand, the other one enjoys the resources to actually maintain their side of the bargain and holds the entire pass, Mr. Speaker. Consequently, Mr. Speaker, the existing statutory framework has resulted in institutional and functional misalignments relating to road classification also, because the assignment of responsibilities and the allocation of road maintenance resources between national and county governments must follow a certain kind of classification. But if you don't have the money to maintain those roads, but you're given the responsibility to maintain them, the classification of them also becomes a problem, Mr. Speaker. So that while the county governments are constitutionally responsible for the larger share, as I've indicated here, Mr. Speaker, of these road networks, resources have continued to be administered predominantly by the national government. And this has been happening through the known agencies. If you were to take a reflective look into how our roads have been maintained, you would probably argue that Kenya has been maintaining what would go with national trunk roads. But specifically, Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, and Kenya Urban Rural Authorities, what they have been maintaining with the power given to them by national government have actually been what should be resources given to counties to maintain them. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, the current framework lacks a clear mechanism for the direct allocation of the road maintenance levy. This has been the key contest, between national government and county government, Mr. Speaker. So that under the proposed bill, you could even see that when the National Assembly developed this bill, they still had the audacity to say that they were only allocating 5% of the RMLF to counties, Mr. Speaker. 5% to counties to maintain